Welcome to this video. How to pre-round patients. It's a very common question asked by medical students, sub-interns and interns. In this video, I will share with you how you can pre-round your patients effectively and efficiently. My name is Dr. Farzana Haq. I'm an assistant professor of medicine. I'm teaching medical students and residents for more than 10 years now. So let's see what steps we can follow at the morning, because as you already know, morning is very important to organize all your work. So when you start your day after you log into the patient chart, at first review any most recent notes. For example, if you got any patient overnight, read the history and physical. Or if this is a follow-up patient, read the most recent note. Any note from overnight, maybe any significant event noted by the nurse. So rule of thumb, try to learn about the patient concisely from the most recent note. After that, review the vitals. Particularly know the vital for last 24 hours and focus on any significant vital if it was recently abnormal or if has changed from the previous number. For example, if you are treating any patient for infection, check that did that patient had any fever overnight, or if you are giving this patient any medication for the high blood pressure, see that how the blood pressure is maintaining. If your patient has any cardiac event, see if the heart rate is within that normal range. If nothing is unremarkable, it's okay. However, if this is significant change, write it down so that you can mention that precisely during your presentation to the attending. After you have reviewed the note, vital, then look at the labs. Usually for the patients we do complete blood count, basal metabolic panel. So besides this routine lab, if you have any other important lab that you ordered previously, make sure to take a note. If this is something very important test, if it is within normal range, mention that. If it is significant, abnormal, also take a note so that it will help you to formulate the plan for that patient. One thing I learned from my mentor, that is, always take the ownership of your patient. If you order any lab, it's your responsibility to monitor that number, and if it is abnormal, to take appropriate action and also inform the patient. Remember, if you order any lab, it's 100% your responsibility. And never assume that, okay, maybe other physician will monitor that lab and the patient will be informed. It's very, very important. One of the most important cause of malpractice lawsuit in the US is not following up the lab and not taking appropriate action for the abnormal lab. After that, if you order any cultures, urine culture, blood culture, take a note about it. Then if you order any radiology test like X-ray, CT, MRI, if there is any significant point, take a note so that you can mention it in the assessment and plan. If you requested any consultation for any particular patient, go to their note and see that what particular thing they are recommending for this patient. Sometimes what happened, maybe your consult consultant will not call you. They will mention their recommendation in the note. So make sure that you are following up, and if they are asking for any particular test, make sure that you are ordering those. Otherwise, it will delay the patient care. So let's see what will be the next step we can do. Then intake and output. This is very important for heart failure patients. In the real world, it's not always possible to get the accurate intake and output. So if some patients I'm truly focused on to know the intake and output, like if this is a acute renal failure patient or heart failure patient, I will also put the order as nursing communication that for this patient intake and output is very important. Besides that, I will also talk to the nurse personally and tell them that I truly need this intake and output so that I can dose the Lasix for this heart failure patient. Then comes to medications. One thing is very important. So sometimes what happens in the electronic medical record, some orders may fall through. If your patient is on any important antibiotic, make sure that order is there and order is correct. Always make sure the medication order is appropriately given. And whenever you are checking the medication order, see that is the dose, route and timing is right. One of the important rule when you are pre-rounding is to decide that do you need any consult for this patient. For example, if this is a patient of any like rheumatology disease, if you are thinking, if you want the rheumatology consult, try to call them as early as possible. I always make sure to call the consult if I need before 11 o'clock. Because this way the consulting team get enough time to work on the patient and to let me know about their recommendation. Think yourself in their shoes. If you are on the consult team, would you like to get the consult at maybe 4 o'clock? No, right? So they are our team, they are our colleague. So always, if you ask the consult, try to do it as early as possible. My mentor told me that always go to patient's room prepared. Meaning that try to understand that what will be their questions, or if there is any significant change in their treatment plan, medication, always be prepared that you should inform the patient and what could be their question so that you can talk about. I always go to my patient's room prepared so that if they have any questions, I have the enough knowledge, information from the chart that I am the better position to give them the complete and right answer. I always, whenever I am pre-rounding, I try to identify that, okay, so for which patient I must reach out to at least one family member. Particularly if the patient is confused or very sick, I always make sure to reach out to at least one family member that day. After you have reviewed all these notes, what I do as the part of my pre-rounding, before I go to patient room, I talk to nurses. If the patient is very sick, I usually talk to the night nurse, try to find out was there any significant overnight events. If I'm not able to talk to night nurse, I will always talk to the day nurse before going to patient room to find out that Was there anything significant overnight? Was patient asking for anything particular? Or will the nurse will need any specific order for this patient? If you do this simple ritual, you will achieve two goals. First, you will be able to give a better, high quality patient care because you are addressing patient's need and concerns. And secondly, there will be open line of communication with your nurses. Always remember, medicine is a team effort. Here, no physician can work alone. So we need that nurses support to give the best treatment to our patients. Then during that pre-round, identify that which patients are eligible for discharge today. My mentor told me that whenever you are getting the patient, as soon as you are having the patient in the hospital, your mind should go in this way that what I can do to treat this patient better so that patient is well enough to be discharged. So before you go to talk to the patient, see the patient, try to identify that which patients will be tentative discharge that day. I completely understand it may change because we know life is unpredictable. Any patient can get sick anytime. However, overall, you must have some idea that which could be tentative discharge that day. After you have identified your tentative discharge patients, then focus that what will be the disposition of that discharges. Does this patient need to go home or nursing home or acute rehab? And that you can identify from the physical therapy and occupational therapy note. For some patients who are healthy, young, able to ambulate by themselves, I do not always call physical therapy. However, for elderly patients, I always call the physical therapy to make sure that they are stable enough to walk by themselves. And even though if they go home, that helps me to identify that will this patient need any walker, cane, so that they are safe after discharge at home. Finally, before I finish my pre-round discharge, I always try to find out that whoever patients I will discharge, I always find out that does they need any specific things before they are discharged. For example, if the patient is going to nursing home and if they need any pain medication, I will make sure to give them the prescription. Another example will be if I am planning to discharge that patient that day, I will always make sure to find out that will this patient need any home medication refill. I'm telling you at the pre-round level because if you identify these needs during the pre-round, you will be able to answer all those questions need during your round with the patient. However, if you do it late and if you're attending or if your resident tell you that so let's find out will this patient need any refill or anything before to be discharged, you have to go back again to the patient and find out. So I think these are the very important tips. If you follow, you will be able to do pre-round very efficiently because as you already know, time management, particularly at the morning, is truly crucial to organize your whole day. I hope you will find these tips and strategies helpful to do the pre-round for your patients, particularly for the medical students, sub-intern and intern. One point here I would like to mention here that this is a continuous process. The more you will do, you will get better. So if you are missing one or two steps, do not get upset. Learn from it and focus on to do it better next time. I hope you will like this video, share with your friends and colleagues. Please subscribe to this channel because there are a lot of amazing contents are on your way. I do not want you to miss. So please subscribe to this channel. I will see you in the next video. I wish you all the best. Bye bye.